Good morning, and thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup. I'm Neeraj Shah, and it's Monday morning, and well, it's a big one because it's the birth of the gift Nifty, and we'll talk about that in a moment. First, the U.S. markets, and they had a decent outing, if you will, in Friday's session as well. So the teji, as they say, continues, and there is no reason to doubt otherwise. The global news flow is looking okay too. Nasdaq, by virtue of what the Nasdaq did, soared 39% in the first 6 months, became in the best first half ever. And Apple went on to become the first company to close with a $3 trillion valuation. It's quite something. US spies have issued warnings over risks in a bid of doing businesses or companies bidding to do business in China. Interesting. And as we speak, by the way, while all of this is happening, Janet Yellen is on her way to China to thaw some of these differences as well. China has named the new PBOC party chief, which sets the stage for a governor change as well. And interestingly, in a couple of domestic news, uh, SBI has overtaken Bank of China in the APAC region in the project finance loans. That's quite something. The Indian bank, Indian lender, becoming so large on the APAC stage as well. Pretty interesting. Nevertheless, so that's the long and short of it. By the way, amongst other things, it's not only Apple which did the record. Tesla too has done a record. The Tesla delivered a record 4.66140 lakh cars in the second quarter, which is a big beat to the estimates. So a bit of a boost to Elon Musk. Now, having said that, what is GIFT Nifty suggesting? GIFT Nifty points to a solid start. In fact, it was not doing this at the start of the trade, rather sometime in the morning, but currently points to a good start in trade. So let's wait and watch. And which is why I think, like they say, the forecasts are one thing, what the trade ticker is showing you is something else, and you should always trade the market. And the market currently has been doing very well. Never mind what some of the naysayers had said a few days ago. Now, FPIs have invested 47,000 crores in June on top of the 43,000 crores in May, which is positive for banking. So again, one can argue, and rightly so, that after doing 2 strong months, there might not be a repeat. But I will say let's wait for the daily data to show that. Until that trend comes about, why worry about it? Until that trend comes about, it's strong for banking, it's strong maybe for select IT as well. So keep that in mind. Large caps are now coming to the fore. They're taking the mantle, even as the broader market stocks are taking a breather. And you're seeing that, right? Reliance is moving, HDFC Bank is moving, select IT stocks are moving. TCS was up in Friday's trade. Just very strong momentum within the large caps currently, and maybe that is where the trade should be. Banks and infrastructure stocks remain the key themes to watch to my mind. Now, the stocks to watch today, it's a pretty long list. I've not even gotten to brokerages. Firstly, HDFC Bank, amongst all that has happened post merger, Sashidhar Jagdishan is saying that they could be creating a new HDFC Bank every 4 years, or a new HDFC, as the case may be. The point being, just goes to show the confidence that the current regime has on the kind of growth that can come in. Some of it also comes out from the very aggressive branch network rollout that HDFC Bank has put into place as a guidance for the next 5 years. But yeah, really strong showing. It's a stock that, despite the last few days' move, has not really participated in a rally. So could be an interesting one to monitor, maybe even today. It's doing well almost every single day. Auto sales, the four numbers that I thought, and the four numbers that I could see also, that's the point. Tata Motors versus the expectations, it's a 3% beat. Maruti versus expectations, down 5%. Actually, YOY Maruti is down about 17%. It's a really big miss there. Eicher Motors was almost in line, or rather slightly above, but Hero again was the other one which had a bit of a disappointment. So both Maruti and Hero have actually had a tough month, and that is the key point. Maruti, as I said, uh, the June exports were down about 17% YOY, so that's to be kept in mind. Then the monthly data from other non-auto companies. So UltraTech Cement, the 1Q sales volume was 29.96 million tons, which is a growth of 20%, far, far better than the industry growth numbers. Probably looking at, of course, the heightened capacity also, but also the fact that might be gaining some market share. NTPC, the coal dispatches at 8.8 MT in 1Q, up 112%. Coal India, the June offtake wasn't the strongest. So bear that in mind. Power anyway seems to be in a sweet spot. Then APL Apollo actually reported a really good quarter. It's not the monthly data, but the quarterly data, the highest ever quarterly sales volume of 6.61 MT, which is about a growth of 56% YOY. The general structures volume grew 70%. Share of value-added products improved sequentially to 57% from 54 in 4Q. And the company expects the sales mix to further improve in the upcoming quarters. Not only are they showing volumes, they are showing the higher sales of value-added products, which might help the margins. Now, viewers, I would urge all of you to try and see the interview, if you want to, that is, of APL Apollo's Deepak Goel about 20 days back. An extended conversation that we've done with him about the future, about the opportunities. Of course, it all depends upon the company execution, but the plans seem pretty strong. It's a good, um, it's a good company to track. So please try and, of course, look at these numbers and what it means for the quarter and the year, but also try and hear that interview as well. And Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank, RBI has found that IT department rather that the bank has not filed a statement of financial transactions pertaining to cash deposits of over 2,700 crores involving more than 10,000 accounts as per the IT department. Certainly a stock in focus and certainly one that could have a bit of a reaction. So do watch out for that as well. There is LNT Finance, wherein Sudipta Roy has been appointed as the MD and CEO. Roy was with ICICI Bank with 24 years of experience. Stock currently trades at about 1.2 times FY25 price to book, which is a 20% discount to last 10-year multiples. So do watch out for LNT Finance. Mazgon Dock Shipbuilders had signed a contract worth 2,700 crores with the Indian Navy. Maybe that stock comes in focus. Kansai Nerolac, the board has approved the sale of its land in Thane, an additional area measuring 97,000 square meters for a consideration of 671 to Shodan Developers, which is a Hirandani Group company, but essentially, um, non-core land sold off for a large sum could help the stock. Let's wait and watch. Some interesting bulk deals, including Godavari Power and Ispat, wherein Mukul Agarwal bought about 10 lakh shares. Param Capital, well-known investor, expensive stock though, bear in mind, but interesting set of investors. Karnataka Bank, Quant Mutual bought about 38 lakh shares. And Adani Transmission, GQG is continuing its buying spree on the Adani Group stocks, 1.8% stake in Adani Transmission as well. So that's the other one to monitor. Muthoot Finance, Muthoot Microfinance filed a DRHP for 1,350 crore IPO. The subsidiary filing for a large IPO should help Muthoot Finance as well. So that's to be watched out for. Now, on LNT Finance, for example, I spoke about Sudeep Roy. Uh, I think Morgan Stanley's come out with a note. They have an equal weight rating with a target price of 105. Um, yeah, I think they speak about how probably this could be construed positively. Not in as many words, but leadership transition announced. So that's the thing. There's a RBI financial stability report, which is also to be kept in mind. It highlighted healthy loan growth, narrowing credit deposit gap, which is positive, and improving asset quality trends. The report also highlighted improved resilience of Indian lenders in recent years. All of this should be construed positively, so that's to be watched out for. Fortis Healthcare, Nomura has come out with a note. They maintained the buy. The target price has been taken higher to 368 from 305, which is an uptick of about 20% from the current market price. So keep in mind, Fortis may react. Gujarat Gas may react. There is a propane duty, import duty on propane, which is a positive for Gujarat Gas. So might be mindful of that. And Apollo Tyres, Morgan Stanley is downgraded to an equal weight. Viewers, somebody very smart that I was talking to was telling this to me about tire companies and how Q1 may not be as strong as Q4 on the volumes front, maybe. And obviously, since we hit the monsoon season, the guidance for Q2 may not be the strongest. And because of various kinds of marketing costs, like the IPL cost for CET and MRF for sure, would mean that maybe the margins also come into question. So while tires had a decent Q3, but a buoyant Q4 may not be the strongest first half. So be mindful of tire companies as well with regards to that. So these are a few things that I thought should be kept in mind uh, this morning. People will be watching out for MCX and 63 moons as well after what happened on Friday. But a few very important conversations lined up today. So we have on Worldview Xavier Baraton of HSBC Asset Management. He's the head of global asset management, the large voice, and his view is that India is unmissable. You might want to tune in for that. I'm sure Devina will present her counter views because her thoughts as an investor are a lot more both global and local, as is Xavier's, of course, but she has exposure to India. But with the Nifty at record highs, it'd be interesting to understand if Devina is constructive or not, and what are her thoughts on the same. So we'll be talking to that founder of First Global. So that's the other interesting conversation today. Of course, a bunch of other conversations. I think you'll hear from Symphony on the cooling solutions business as well sometime during the day. So that's to be watched out for too. And the trade talk conversations with my colleague Hiral and Alex at 8:30, 11 o'clock, and 3:15, which is a normal thing that we do. So we want to tune in for some of those as well. Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup. Have a great day.